What is going on, Rocket Lab investors? So today we are at $9.80, or I should say we closed at $9.80 on Friday, and after hours we're up to $9.82. So that brings us to a market cap of $4.87 billion. This is absolutely awesome. I really thought we were going to go down to the $7 to $8 range, but we keep going to about like $9.20, back up to $9.70. We're at 1.8 or 9.80. So this is awesome. We're seeing some resistance in the $9 range. I'm kind of wondering if we are going to actually hit the $8, $7 range. I'm kind of leaning more on no right now, but give it enough time, some events, public events could happen, and the market could tank, but I feel a little more comfortable in the $9 range, even though I wanted to be in the $5 range, simply for the fact that I want to buy more at $5. Buying 1,000 shares for 9,000 compared to 5, that's a huge difference. And I know a lot of you might say, oh yeah, in 10, 20 years, that will be nothing. But, investing in a company that's considered a risk, a $4,000 difference is a big, big difference. So I really want to buy mine at $5. So I'm really trying to work up buying 1,000 shares next. And so it's going to be a little while. If we skyrocket past $9, $10, and we hit 15, 20, hey, awesome. I missed out on some more, but overall, I'm making some serious money. So I'd be happy either way. So now the question is, what is going to keep us in the $9 range? What's going to propel us to the $10, $11, $12 range? Now, obviously, Neutron is going to, I think, be a big bump, especially if we get a first successful launch and landing. I think that will be probably a catalyst of like $5 to $10. But for gradually increasing the stock price, we need to see more sales. We need to see them producing more inventory, which is one of Peter Beck's goals in space. If you hear him talk in a lot of his videos, he has said his goal is to pretty much provide parts to everyone that is sending rockets into space. He wants to see every space rocket have some Rocket Lab parts in there. And I think that's a genius play, and I hope it's not his only play. If it is his only play, then that will only take us to about $10 to $20, or I should say $20 to $30 in the stock price. I'm really hoping that he builds out a constellation, and then that should propel us to the $50 to $100 range. But in order to do both of those goals, one of my dreams and then his dream, they need to start producing a lot more parts. They need to get a lot more production facilities. The more they produce, they can lower the cost. So that's why Rocket Lab hired a new COO. So from the Motley Fool in September, Rocket Lab hired Frank Klein as the new Chief Operations Officer. Klein has worked in the automotive industry for 3 decades. The last 27 years were at pretty much the Mercedes-Benz Group, and he's held many roles. He was the vice president of Mercedes-Benz Vans operations. And Rocket Lab brought on Klein to help scale the manufacturing of its spacecraft, launch vehicles, and spacecraft components into meeting and growing customer demands, and help Rocket Lab work through the backlog customer orders. So in essence, Frank Klein was hired to produce more parts so they can start filling more back orders, and ultimately it drives down the price. The more you produce, the more you can sell it for a cheaper cost. Hopefully that doesn't happen too much. Hopefully we want to keep a premium. So one thing that's odd to me is it's the automotive industry, and that's a completely different industry. And I'm a little concerned that Frank Klein isn't going to be able to do it, but I have a little faith because he has proven himself as a small startup, key player, to where he can help produce more inventory. So hopefully he has connections and just really hopefully he knows how to do this. I'm assuming we're probably going to see a lot more facilities built. If we don't see any probably manufacturing facilities, new locations bought within 6 months, I'm probably going to say not a whole lot's going to happen. But if we start seeing more land purchases, we start creating some factories, that's a great sign. And why I say that is because Frank Klein was the COO of Rivian Automotive. And so he was hired to help transform Rivian from a low volume automotive startup to a high volume premium electric car manufacturer. And from my understanding, he has done that. They increased their sales drastically. He was able to increase parts production, which equals more cars, and that gives me a little faith that he's going to do the same at Rocket Lab. I truly believe he hit the lotto because I'm sure he has thought hard about taking this job, and I'm sure he sees the risks. But if you're hopping in as a COO, you're looking at 5 billion. Where's the potential? Could this hit 100 billion market cap? Yeah. If Rocket Lab creates their own constellation, and I mean their own, not produce and then manage a constellation for someone else. If they can produce their own constellation, we are looking at 100 to 150 billion dollar market cap. That gives them the option to provide internet and then potentially phone service later on. And you have to look at like AT&T, Verizon, where their stock market cap is. Rocket Lab is going to have that full potential. So I truly believe he hit the lotto, and I'm sure he wants to become super rich. So he has to succeed for Rocket Lab to succeed. Eventually, Neutron's going to get created, and then we're going to have a lot more satellites, hopefully constellation satellites that need to be created, and he's going to be a vital part in just mass producing these at a great cost. And that's a lot of time and effort and money, and he really needs to succeed. He's got an opportunity to make a boatload of money. He's had success at Rivian, he's had success at Mercedes-Benz, and I think he's going to have success at Rocket Lab. Now, I'm curious to see if it's going to go down like Rivian, where he's here for 2 to 3 years, he builds those manufacturing facilities, able to pump out a lot of stuff, and then he hops out, or is he going to be here for the long haul? That's what I'm curious on what I want to know from you. Do you think he's here for good, or do you think he's just here to do his one job, then bounce to the next place? Either way, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, so please comment down below. It'll definitely help the channel, help the community. And I want to know, do you think we're going to go past the $9.80? Do you think we're going to hit 10 again? Or do you think we're eventually going to hit $7, maybe $5? So I appreciate you watching. Everyone that comments, likes the videos, it really helps out. We are just starting off, so I definitely appreciate your support. But as always, please do your own research, have some fun, make some money. This video is not financial advice. Any statements made are my views and is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and consult a professional before making any financial investments.